Hello everyone, welcome back to Hills and Haulers Homestead, and we are finally safe. And what I mean by that is we just returned from our vacation at the beach, and we kind of have a preference for the Outer Banks down in North Carolina. And this year we've discovered a little farther south, down more towards Hatteras Island and that area. And since we were down there, you got to understand the Outer Banks, if you're not familiar with them, is just pretty much a strip. It is a bank of between the ocean and the sounds and the rivers and stuff. So we were down near the on the Pamlico Sound. Probably where we were is about a half a mile wide at the widest, and very narrow in some other places. And when you get down there, you don't realize how open it is down there. I mean, you're looking literally from horizon to horizon, east and west. There are a couple areas where you can see land across the sound and stuff, but pretty much where we were, horizon to horizon, was water. And, you know, living here where we live, we have hills, hollers, trees, and everything like that. So seeing horizon to horizon here is usually pretty short. Like, I can see the top of that hill, and I can see the top of that hill, and that's my horizon. And unless you get to the highest point in your area, that's where you're going to be relegated, is just horizon to horizon over the mountains. And I've always said I feel safer here. And what I mean by that is feeling safe is in the hills and stuff, and down in the hollows and everything. You're protected. You have that sense of just being hugged, essentially, not to get all mushy and stuff like that, but just being hugged by the mountains and stuff. And it gives you that safety and that security feeling here. And, you know, I don't have a problem looking up and seeing trees and woods and, you know, hills and stuff above me. But when we were down there, our trip, well, usually it's about 8.5, 9 hours, depending on traffic that you run into. And we try to avoid interstate as much as possible. So I like to follow a no tolls type of route. And that typically puts you on a bypass, but you are on interstate for quite a while. So you'll have bypasses and stuff and business routes that'll help you avoid the tolls and stuff, which really doesn't make much difference. I mean, honestly, in time, you're pretty much avoiding the big city centers by going up and around them, and it's probably saving time all the way around. And I particularly don't like to pay tolls in a state that I don't live in. I don't like to pay tolls, period. With the abuse of the government, the amount of money that they waste and everything like that, it's pretty obvious that you know, they can get by without my toll. My family's, you know, $5 on that toll is not going to be a make or break difference for them. But anyways, once we come back, once we hit the western part of Virginia, like right around over towards Charlottesville and stuff, we started noticing, you can see the mountains and stuff like that. Where we were literally at sea level. I think the highest was on my balcony of the house that we rented. But standing on the dunes and stuff, you were about 6, 8, 10 feet above sea level at the best. And once we got back and we got off the interstate and hit the 2-lane roads that we've traveled back, now we've got tree cover over our heads. And that's why I told my wife, I said, this is the first time we've had trees over our head since we left. Since the last time we were on that road. And she said, you know, I never really thought of it that way. And I said, kind of comforting, isn't it? And she goes, yeah, it is. It kind of gives you that security. It's almost like a security blanket. So, you know, traveling outside of your comfort zone is a good thing in most cases. But you don't realize the impact that your home environment has on you in your home area until you actually leave that and leave that safety and that comfort that you're used to. So that was a pretty good feeling to get back home. Of course, it always is. And everybody's kind of got that West Virginia sign. As soon as you see that, you know you're home type of thing. And it doesn't matter what part of the state that you're in. As soon as you come into West Virginia, you see that welcome home or that welcome to West Virginia sign, you know you're home. But we had a little issue coming back, and we had family that went with us, so we went in several different vehicles, or in a couple different vehicles. And all right, Jethro, I know you guys missed us, didn't you? You guys, these puppies just been all over since we got home. Okay, all right, heavy breathing, it's hot. So we had an issue where we split up coming back in the vehicles and stuff, and I was the only one with the phone in the vehicle, and I was obviously unprepared because I just relied on maps to get us on a route that we needed to follow. And when you get in areas like that, I mean, you've got such heavy traffic, and I mean, everybody's leaving that island down there, leaving the banks on, because checkout day and time is usually Saturday mornings before 5 or before 10 a.m. or by 10 a.m. And I think it's pretty much island wide down there. But so you're on, in competition with everybody getting out of there, and a lot of people follow the same routes and stuff. But we had an issue where my phone, evidently I had a little bit of moisture in the battery port and didn't know that until we were about an hour up the island from when we left, and we had plugged my phone into the car because I was using my Amazon Music app while I was driving, plus I was using Maps. And it'll talk to you, it'll tell you turn right in 1,000 feet, get on this business route or that route and stuff like that. And I knew the route that I was looking for at that point, but from there, once I got on that, I didn't know where I needed to turn, and my phone died. It gave me this alert that said, we've detected moisture in your charging port, and it said either moisture or a foreign body in your charging port, and it shut my phone down. I had no communication whatsoever. And of course, my wife is way behind me somewhere, and we had agreed upon a spot to turn off and stop to, go in and use the restroom and get a couple other little things before we left. I blew right past it, not paying attention, because I was so frustrated with my phone. I was trying to get my phone to work while I'm driving, paying attention to traffic and everything else, and trying to see the route that I needed. So finally, somewhere along the way, I knew that I needed this specific route, 168 Business North, and I got on it, and finally my phone wouldn't even respond to me. It wasn't even on, but it was connected to the Bluetooth in the car, and for whatever reason, my wife was finally able to get in touch with me, and she said, "Where are you at?" And I said, "This is where I'm at. My phone's not working. I have no idea where I need to go from here. I'm going to stop here and wait on you to come to me." I said, "I don't know what's going on with my phone." So we ended up having to stop and wait, and because I didn't have any way of knowing where I was at unless I got a map, and trying to find a paper map in most places now is virtually impossible. So I didn't have a backup with me, and that made a big difference. Created a lot of frustration and anxiety for me because I got my family separated now. You know what I mean? I like to keep everybody together, and it's not a control thing, it's just a safety thing in this world today. But I didn't have a backup, and next year I will definitely have a backup. I promise I will have a backup next year, so I don't run into that again, to where I don't know where the hell I'm going. So I'll definitely have the routes memorized next year and have a map to back up in case something does go wrong with my phone. So technology failed us, created a lot of problems and stuff for us until we finally got together. And about 250 miles into the trip, my phone finally started working. So evidently there was some moisture in the charging port. So it finally came back on, but it was completely dead. It took a while for it to get enough charge to come back on. So tip of the week, make sure you got a backup for your navigation, especially if you're traveling in an unfamiliar area and stuff. I mean, I know where I needed to go and where I needed to get to. It was just remembering all the routes, because we had chosen routes without tolls and stuff. So there's a lot of bypasses and business routes and stuff that we had to get on. So definitely have a backup for that. Another thing is a lot of folks, and I talk about water purification and water filtration and stuff as a good backup here. And, there's a lot of stuff in the news now about what they call PFAS, which are these forever chemicals, like in Teflon pans and Tefal pans and things like that. And it's in the water, it's in the air, it's in our foods and stuff like that. And even in treated municipal waters, it's found in there. And they're forever chemicals that cause cancer and all kinds of other problems. Where we live, we have municipal water, but it's got such a high chlorine smell and chlorine taste to it that it's just an aversion to me. Drinking out of the tap is something. I mean, I'll drink out of the hose when I'm out here and it's hot, and I'm working. But that's just to, for a have-to type of situation, or just a quick convenient. I prefer bottled spring water, but you buy all the plastic bottles. So I'd been looking at the Berkey water filters, and I just didn't want to pay that price. I really didn't. I didn't want to pay, close to $300 for a daggone water filter. And so I found there's a website called, and they have a Facebook page called Camping Survival, and they had the Alexa Pure water filters on sale. And these are comparable almost to the letter to the Berkey water filters. Now, Berkey offers several different sizes, but their most popular size is the 2.25 gallon. And I bought the Alexa, which their one and only size is 2.25 gallon. And their filters are almost identical to the Berkey's. They remove like 200 different contaminants and stuff, including chlorine and heavy metals and bacteria and parasites and all this other stuff. And Camping Survival had it on sale for $179. And it was the 2.25 gallon Alexa Pure. And I did the side-by-side comparisons. I started looking up all the information and stuff on both of them and read the reviews and everything like that, and comparable. And I mean, you're talking almost identical. Minus like 3 different things, and that was 3 different things that the Berkey will filter out versus the Alexa Pure. But both of the filters meet certifications and stuff like that. They meet all the standards, even though neither one of them has sought the certifications for all the safety standards. But I went ahead and I bought the Alexa Pure for $179 off of Camping Survival. They had a sale on it, and I'm going to tell you, it's the best purchase I've ever made. It's a stainless steel container, 2-part container with a filter in the top and the reservoir on the bottom with a spigot. And you fill the reservoir on the top and let it filter down into the reservoir on the bottom, and it sets right on my kitchen sink. And I'm going to tell you, immediately it removed all the chlorine taste and smell from my water. When I drank the first glass of that, I was like, this is amazing, this is fantastic. And I told my kids, I said, come over here. And I gave them both a drink, and my son immediately like, Daddy, that tastes like mountain water. And he loves it. And he was referring to, you get up in the eastern mountains of West Virginia, they have natural springs tapped out alongside the road where you can stop and drink right out of them, fill your containers up, and a lot of people do. And they love that water. It's the cleanest, most purest water you're ever going to drink, and it's fantastic. So as soon as my son said that, I was like, yeah, good, we're sold. I'm telling you, my coffee has never tasted better. And I drink so much more water now, just because I'm not, the plastic bottles and everything like that, you've got to different taste, elements in there with that as well. But best, cleanest tasting water I've ever had as compared to like right out of the spring in the mountains and stuff. So Alexa Pure, 2.25 gallons. Each filter, there's one filter. You can put up to 4 filters in each container. I only did 1. And it will give you 5,000 gallons of filtration, depending on how dirty your water is or how dirty the source of your water is. So you figure at 5,000 gallons, I'm not looking to replace that filter for 2 years. I'm the only one in the family drinks water or drinks coffee, but I can fill a 2.25 gallon container up, and through the day now, I'm filling it up, letting it filter through, which usually takes about a little over an hour for it all to filter through, give or take. And I'm drinking a ton more water. My kids are drinking more water. My wife's drinking more water. And what I want to do is kind of break that plastic bottle cycle now and use what we have available to us. So Alexa Pure on Camping Survival, and I'll post a link in this video in the description if you guys are interested. I don't know if it's still on sale for $179, but if it is, I'm telling you right now, if you have an aversion to tap water because of the taste and the smell and everything like that, this is going to make a huge difference. And if you're continuously buying for $4 or $5 a case of purified water, you're wasting your money. Buy it all at once and be done with it. And you could take it. We took it to the beach with us, and simply because if you, especially near oceans and stuff like that, that water, that municipal water down there just tastes horrible, and the coffee doesn't taste good or anything like that. I took it with us, and we used it like crazy, and it was great. It was absolutely great. There was no difference in the taste of the water there than there is here with the filtration now. So that was definitely a plus. So Alexa Pure versus Berkey, do your own side-by-side comparisons. I found that one is pretty much equivalent to the other, and with a sale of $179 versus $279, I went with the Alexa Pure, and I do not regret that decision whatsoever. And I went ahead and ordered a second filter just to have. So in 2 years, when this one runs out and these replaced, I'll have another filter on hand. And I may just buy a couple here and there as we go along, just to have them on hand, because they're good as long as they're remain in their original package. But we're home. We're happy. We had a great vacation. As you can see, I got a little bit of sun, got some good fishing going. Just was a little taken back by not recognizing or realizing so much as in the last couple of years with everything going on with the pandemic and with crime, taking off like it has. that, you know, we were in a good area down there. It's not highly commercialized at all. The further south you get on the Outer Banks, the better it is, I think, in my opinion. So definitely not highly commercialized, spread out, you know, more comfortable down there. But the openness down there, that was nice to see from horizon to horizon, and visit the beach and see the ocean and do the fishing and do all the activities and stuff down there. It was really great to come back home to the safety and the security of the Hills and Hollers. Hence the name of the channel here, and the homestead. So just food for thought. Definitely have a backup to electronic and technological navigation, because I was in a tough spot. And the gas station we stopped at it was a Wawa, and they're not here in West Virginia, but I stopped at a Wawa, and I'm like, do you guys have maps? And the lady kind of looked at me funny, and I said, do you have paper maps? And she says, I don't know. So have that on backup next time. Anyways, glad to be home. Good to be home. The pigs, I think they put on 50 pounds while we were gone. It's amazing how much these things are growing, and being away for a week, seeing how big they are now is just amazing. So, and the puppies are glad to see us. But we're home. We're getting unpacked. We're getting things settled, and it's good to be here. We're still working for our self-reliance, self-sufficiency. Still pursuing more and stuff for the grants from the USDA and the NRCS to help us get along with our self-sufficiency and self-reliance, to help grow more of our own food. And I'll keep you guys updated as that goes along. And I'm also starting to look to see if there are grants available for off-grid solar, or even solar, even if it's a partial grant, because the wife said it's a go. If I can find that kind of stuff, if I can find good funding and stuff, and it doesn't put us in a bad situation, I want to go off-grid solar, and that's going to be a big jump. But I'm also looking for the well and spring development, plus the greenhouse. So we're waiting to hear from them. Keep you guys updated along the way. Keep working to starve that system, because that system is still trying to starve you. Get prepared, stay prepared, take care, and God bless.